Expelled at 19, accused of theft. 4 years later, my grandfather unveiled their deception, and I inherited everything they tried to seize. Expelled at 19, falsely accused of stealing. 4 years on, my grandfather revealed their falsehoods, and I became the sole heir to all they schemed to claim. My father ejected me from home on Christmas Eve for a crime I never committed. I forged a new existence without him, convinced I'd severed every tie. Yet years later, their web of deceit and avarice collapsed spectacularly. Before we reach that climax, allow me to begin at the origin. My name is Liam Carter. I'm 23 now. Tonight, I'm returning to the house I swore I'd never re-enter. 3 years ago, my family banished me on Christmas Eve. Today, I'm driving back to honor my grandfather Edward's 72nd birthday. This marks the first occasion I'll face my parents and Rachel since that fateful evening. The highway lies deserted. The sky is etched with wintry clouds, and with every mile closer, pressure mounts in my chest. I'm no longer the 19-year-old they discarded. I've launched a modest online retail venture, secured financial autonomy, and crafted a life beyond their reach. Yet no measure of success can dull the sting of betrayal. Chaos reigned in that household long before the incident. My mother, Vanessa, obsessed over appearances, flawless decor, lavish gatherings, and polished facades. Rachel, my sister, was the favored child, indulged, dramatic, and vicious in ways only siblings master. If I spoke out of turn, she ridiculed me. If I stayed quiet, she branded me useless. Vanessa always took her side. My father, Gregory, a ruthless lawyer who dominated courtrooms and crushed rivals, turned passive at home. Rather than enforce boundaries, he permitted them free rein. If Vanessa labeled me idle, he concurred. If Rachel deemed me a failure, he averted his gaze. I learned to navigate around them instead of belonging among them. That December, I buried myself in college funding forms and blueprints for a fledgling digital storefront I hoped would liberate me. Late nights, while the house slept, I slipped into Gregory's study to print documents and scour the internet. It housed the only reliable printer and steady connection. Christmas Eve arrived icy and unforgiving. The tree glowed in its corner. Scents of spice and evergreen filled the air. Vanessa orchestrated like a perfectionist host, barking orders and polishing stemware as though royalty were expected. Rachel paraded in a couture jacket she demanded as a holiday essential, snapping photos by the hearth. I stayed low, offering aid where possible while mentally ticking off the hours. Then Gregory summoned me to the living room. "Where is it?" His tone was controlled but laced with menace. "Where's what?" I asked, genuinely confused. "My watch," he snapped. "The Rolex GMT Master II in white gold. The one your grandfather presented when I made partner. $40,000, Liam, it's vanished." I stared, stunned. "I know nothing about it." Vanessa let out a brittle, humorless laugh. "Of course you don't, that's your standard excuse. Too absorbed in your petty schemes to notice." "I didn't take anything," I insisted. Rachel interrupted. "Stop lying. I saw you in Dad's office last week, hovering near his drawer, no doubt scheming." "I was printing a scholarship form," I countered, voice tightening. "I never touched a thing." Vanessa crossed her arms, feigning concern. "You've been sneaking around for weeks. Desperate, secretive, it's obvious what happened." "Desperate for what?" I shot back, anger surging. "You've never cared about my efforts. You just need a scapegoat." Gregory loomed closer. "This isn't about blame. That watch holds meaning you couldn't comprehend, and now it's gone." "I didn't take it," I repeated, frustration cracking my voice. "I didn't even know it was missing." "Liar," Vanessa hissed. "You've been a letdown since birth. This merely confirms it." Rachel smirked cruelly. "Told you, Dad, probably fencing it to fund one of his sham startups." That shattered something inside me. "You have no clue what I'm building," I said, glaring. "I'm striving to rise above this." Gregory's eyes turned to steel. "Don't raise your voice. You've shamed this family for the last time." "I did nothing," I pleaded. "You're convicting me without evidence." Before I could finish, Gregory yanked open his desk drawer, retrieved the empty Rolex case, and hurled it across the room. It struck the wall beside me and clattered to the floor. "Get out," he commanded, voice low and final. "Pack a bag, leave this house, you're no longer family." The Christmas lights twinkled mockingly. Faint carols drifted from the speakers. Outside, snow began to fall. Amid the festive glow, my father stood, not as the man I once respected, but as someone who'd erased me from his life. "You're making a grave error," I whispered. Vanessa sneered. "Was keeping you this long even necessary?" Rachel grinned, arms folded. "Happy holidays." I said nothing more. I climbed the stairs, stuffed clothes and my laptop into a single duffel and walked out the front door. Before I reached the driveway, it slammed shut behind me. The porch light died, as if they couldn't bear to watch me go. It was Christmas Eve. $80 in my pocket, nowhere to sleep, and no one inside cared if I perished in the cold. That night, everything ended. And that night, I vowed they'd never control me again. At the street's end, snow fell thickly. Warm lights from the house glowed behind me. Muffled holiday tunes leaked through the walls, a celebration I was excluded from. My hands went numb, the bag's straps bit into my shoulder. The cold was brutal, but the betrayal hurt worse. They chose this night, Christmas Eve. Every passing house resembled a holiday card, families at tables, children ripping open gifts. Through frosted panes, I glimpsed joy, laughter, warmth. I felt like a specter drifting through another's story. My breath clouded the air, each inhale seared. I had no destination. I scrolled my phone and texted Sam, a classmate from group projects. "Kicked out. Can I crash tonight?" He replied instantly, "Come over." His family lived in a modest townhouse across town. My shoes were soaked, fingers aching by arrival. Sam answered in a Santa hat, plate of cookies in hand. Behind him, his relatives gathered around a holiday film. Aromas of roasted bird and spice wafted through. "Dude, what happened?" he asked. "Long story," I muttered. "Just need the couch?" "Absolutely," he said, stepping aside. His parents appeared polite but wary. "Liam, right?" his dad asked. "Tough night." "Something like that." They let me in, but tension lingered. They whispered when they thought I couldn't hear. I ate what they offered, but eyes kept flicking toward me, a stranger intruding on tradition. As they exchanged presents, I sat mute on the couch, staring at the carpet. Warmer than the streets, but not home. I left before dawn, texting Sam thanks and promising I'd figure it out. The following weeks blurred. Couch surfing from friend to friend, 3 nights here, 4 there, always careful not to overstay. At first, sympathy flowed, meals, blankets, advice, but kindness fades. By week 2, hints emerged. Family coming soon, need the space. By mid-January, options vanished. Temperatures plunged, the cold cut deeper than ever. Nights in bus shelters, libraries, even behind a gas station, curled against my bag. I skipped meals to stretch cash. Job applications yielded rejections, inexperience my barrier. 2 weeks post-expulsion, I risked returning, not to confront, but to retrieve my old laptop from the garage, vital for applications and searches. I waited until twilight, hoping invisibility. They spotted me. A patrol car pulled in before I reached the side entrance. Officer Hayes stepped out, breath visible. "You Liam?" "Yeah. Your mother claims trespassing." "I'm not, I lived here, just need my laptop." "How old are you?" Hayes asked. 19, he sighed. "Legally, they're still responsible, but if you refuse return, I won't force you. I'll notify CPS, try a relative, don't come back, they won't budge." He advised. "Stop fixing what's shattered. Build anew without them." He dropped any charges. I never returned. A week later, in the public library on a communal computer, a hand tapped my shoulder. I turned, recognition delayed. Beatrice, my father's elder sister, unseen for over 5 years. "Officer Hayes pulled your contact from an old report, called me immediately," she said. "Kicking you out on Christmas Eve. I knew your parents were self-absorbed, but this," she shook her head. "You're coming with me." Beatrice had always shunned Vanessa and Rachel, dubbing them vipers in stilettos. Discovering me homeless, she tracked me to the library, my daytime refuge, and offered shelter. Not pity. Beatrice demanded contribution. Within days, she secured me part-time work at a local auto shop. Grueling shifts, grease under nails, aching limbs, but I never complained. It was survival. I saved relentlessly. A month later, a few hundred bought a battered, barely running used car. Meager, but mine and a shelter when needed. When Beatrice's spare room was occupied or shifts ran late, I parked behind a 24-hour market and slept. The hustle became routine. Garage days, delivery nights. Breaks devoted to free online courses in programming and online marketing. Every social media post from Vanessa and Rachel. Vacations, gourmet outings, curated Christmas shots. fanned my resolve. Rachel once posted, "House feels freer without baggage." A jab, but I turned it to motivation. By spring, savings launched a tiny e-commerce site. Sales trickled, but it proved I could create. Months later, a prestigious tech scholarship arrived, my first solo triumph. Returning from a late delivery, I passed the old neighborhood. Houses aglow, music spilling out. I paused opposite my former home. Windows bright, laughter echoing, the warmth I'd once observed from afar. I lingered, then zipped my jacket and walked on. They chose expulsion. I chose permanence away. 4 years later, I returned for Grandpa's 72nd. The invitation shocked me. No contact with most relatives since departure. My father never reached out. Vanessa and Rachel acted as if I'd vanished, but Edward differed. Post-expulsion, he mailed birthday cards, occasional checks, a congratulatory note on my scholarship. He alone affirmed my worth. His handwritten plea, "I'd love you there, please come," left no refusal. Arrival revealed a packed driveway. Vanessa loved name-dropping luxury vehicles. The house looked identical, same porch light, wreath, inviting glow. Only I had transformed. I parked down the block, steadied myself in the car, then approached. Inside, noise assaulted, laughter, clinking glasses, hidden speakers. Passing relatives nodded politely, others stared like seeing a phantom. Vanessa spotted me first, her smile evaporated. "Well," she said, wine glass in hand, "look who graced us." "Pleasant as ever," I replied evenly. Rachel followed, draped in designer labels, fake smile plastered. "I wagered you'd lack the guts," she said. "Guess Mom owes me 20. I ignored, scanning for my father. Gregory stood by the fireplace, drink in hand, chatting with Edward's friend. He glanced up, faltered briefly, then offered a rigid nod. Nothing more. Tension thickened, but I held steady. I wasn't the boy they'd crushed. Olivia, Edward's lawyer and lifelong confidant, called from behind. "Glad you made it." "Wouldn't miss it," I said. She whispered, "Edward's planning something, stay for the toast." I nodded, uncertain. The next hour I dodged small talk. Vanessa paraded Rachel as a rising mogul, though I knew her influencer ventures flopped. My father pretended I was invisible. Passing them, Rachel's voice rose just enough, pathetic, still resentful, probably jobless. I refused bait, focusing on Edward. Near 9 p.m., a spoon tapped glass, silencing all. Edward stood at the dining table's head, posture erect, voice resonant. "Thank you for joining tonight. 72 years is a milestone, and I'm thankful for family." He paused, eyes sweeping the room, tone shifting, deliberate, weighty. 3 years ago, a prized item vanished from this home. A Rolex GMT Master II, white gold, $40,000. My son's watch, gifted upon partnership. My grandson Liam was accused of theft. Vanessa's grin vanished. I consulted a pawnshop owner friend. He recalled the piece despite Liam's expulsion and disownment. Recently, Edward's voice tightened, truth emerged. A young woman entered his shop post-Christmas, anxious, overly chatty, with an identical watch. Murmurs rippled. Rachel gripped her glass. I showed the photo. He confirmed, same model, serial, engraving, paperwork name. Edward let silence build. "Rachel Carter," whispers erupted. Vanessa paled. Gregory's hand shook, setting down his drink. Rachel stared downward, paralyzed. "Records traced the current owner. Police recovered the watch. But I dug deeper," Edward continued, pacing like in court. "Funds traced to a debt collector for a boyfriend's gambling debts." The grandfather clock ticked alone. While this unfolded, Edward's voice rose, another 10,000 funded a European trip, first class, 5-star, champagne. 9,000 more lost in a crypto bust. The one you branded thief and liar fought to survive with nothing. Liam lost home, family, 3 years because of unchallenged lies. "Liam, you were innocent, always." Silence engulfed. Vanessa's mouth opened soundlessly. Gregory fixated on the table, avoiding me. Rachel's eyes glistened, face ashen. A dozen stares burned, but I stayed mute. Truth, buried 3 years, now lay exposed. I lingered to thank Edward quietly, then exited before dessert. Cold air hit like freedom. I wanted no apologies, no fallout. They'd revealed themselves. Walking the driveway, snow crunching, house fading, I felt unburdened. They'd tried entombing me in lies. Tonight, truth exhumed me. 2 days post-party, no word from my father, then messages flooded. Apologies, accusations of swaying Edward, shaming them publicly. Against instinct, I sent a cafe address. He arrived early, corner table, half-drunk coffee. He looked worn, aged, yet that familiar fire remained. The man who discarded me on Christmas Eve sat as if time rewound. Liam, he stood, faux warmth. Thanks for meeting. Let's talk, I said, sitting, long pause. I owe you an apology, he began, measured. I was wrong about the watch and more. I believed them, let anger rule when I saw you in my office. I failed you. For a moment, I nearly softened. Then his tone sharpened. But understand the pressure. Vanessa one ear, Rachel the other. I didn't know truth. Now you've turned my father against me. That toast, what it did to me. What it did to you, I echoed. It revealed truth, he exhaled harshly. Could have been private. You humiliated us. Our family, I scoffed. The one that, Liam, I'm trying to mend. No, I cut in. You're mending optics, different. Escalation swift. He tapped the table. You can't fathom watching your world crumble over one error. Lost clients, friends ghosted, people see me a fool. You are a fool, I said. Believed lies because easier than trusting me. Now you pay. Mind your tone, he barked, authority resurfacing. No, I said softly. Done tiptoeing, you discarded me like garbage, let them slander me. Ignored my pleas, now truth out you deflect. Silence cut sharp. Nearby tables glanced. Gregory flushed, leaned in. I'm asking to move forward, still family, rebuild. Family protects, I said. Listens, doesn't abandon a 19-year-old on Christmas Eve without proof. You're dramatic, he snapped. I apologized. No, I stood. Sorry you were exposed, not for actions. He rose, face flushed. Think you're superior because Edward tosses money for scholarships? I know I'll never be you. His eyes flashed rage, pride, fear. You'll regret this, realize my sacrifices. You sacrificed nothing, I said. Threw away your son. I walked out. He called, I didn't turn. Outside, winter air stung. Anger absent, clarity present. He sought absolution sans accountability. I blocked his number. Cycle severed. 2 weeks post-cafe, silence from him. Then Edward called, voice steady but purposeful. Come to the house, private matter. Next morning I arrived. He greeted with a firm grip, led to his study, scent of aged leather and wood, walls of lineage. Folders stacked thick on the desk. What's this? Proof, he said. And a massive issue. Post-watch revelation, unease lingered. Vanessa and Rachel's manipulation prompted scrutiny. Over 2 years, hundreds of thousands siphoned from business and personal accounts. Initial financial review seemed clean, then anomalies, minor withdrawals, unexplained transfers. Vanessa issued corporate cards in her name, business charges, luxury bags, spa days, private drivers. Funneled funds to failed influencer gigs, extravagant trips, a doomed apparel line. Worse, a large loan in Gregory's name, signature forged. Your mother, Edward confirmed, bylaid Rachel from a crypto scam. They hadn't just broken trust, drained the family while pointing fingers. $500,000 vanished overnight. Why the Rolex initially, I asked. If capable of grand theft, why petty? Timing, Edward said. Pre-access to company funds. Vanessa uninvolved in business, Rachel unskilled in stealth transfers. Needed quick, untraceable cash, boyfriend's loan shark debts, threats imminent, company 2 watched. And my father? Blind, Edward said. Or willfully ignorant. Let them run rampant, nearly ruining my legacy. Your plan? Edward's face hardened. Severing them all. Lawyers restructuring trust. Gregory removed as beneficiary. Assets, property, stocks, bonds skipping him. Retirement funds gone. Vanessa, Rachel, nothing. They had chances, Edward said. Proved untrustworthy with legacy. One more, he added. Portion for you, not pity, you earned it through character amid greed. I shook my head. Not why I endured. Exactly, he said, hand on shoulder. Why you deserve it. Fallout swift. Word of will changes spread, Vanessa raged. Rachel unraveled, cards declined, accounts empty, ventures collapsing. She posted a frantic online plea tagging me. Called Edward's lawyer threatening suits, futile, documents ironclad. Gregory persisted with new numbers, voicemails oscillating fury and pleas. One accused me of alienation. Another begged dialogue, deleted unheard. Under 2 weeks, Edward called, finalized, they're cut off. Father's reaction? Furious, blames all but self. Vanessa eyes divorce, Rachel drowns in debt. weak post-signing, ripples began. Subtle at first, unreturned calls, canceled meetings, distant friends, silence preceding collapse. Fortnight in, cracks, trust news hit firm, legal circles buzzed. Routine audit, motive clear. Investigators unearthed forgery, unauthorized moves, missing funds. Vanessa tied to embezzlement, Carter Holdings probed, exposing every detail. Month 2, media frenzy, savage headlines. Rachel's brand revealed as sham. Gregory's decades-built repute shattered. Firm suspended him, regulators opened case, clients fled, mentors ghosted. Month 3, lawyers initiated home reclamations, slow but inevitable. Creditors hounded, accounts frozen. Sponsorships evaporated. Rachel's failures cascaded, Vanessa's facade cracked. Month 5, public disgrace. Eviction notice triggered, Rachel storming Edward's lawn, screaming destruction of family. Edward heard, then cut. Family doesn't forge, doesn't drain, doesn't frame kin, your choices. House listed soon after. Rachel's SUV repossessed. Vanessa photographed, berating collectors, images viral. Month 6. Vanessa filed divorce, citing neglect, seeking settlement. Edward's team sealed loopholes. Rachel attempted online redemption arc, tearful growth monologue. Followers, sponsors fled, posts deleted quietly. Thank you for watching my story. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and press the bell icon. Stay tuned for more real-life stories, get more experiences.